Contagion came out in theaters on September 9th, which is a little bit more than a month ago, and if you haven't gone to watch it in theaters yet, let me tell you, you're not really missing much. If you really want to go watch it, then go ahead, I can't stop you. But I would tell you to just wait until it comes out on Netflix. Now, when you watch the trailer for this movie, you think, oh man, that would be a really good movie to watch. One day in the future, something like that's gonna happen and a bunch of people are gonna die off, and it seems kind of possible. Seems pretty probable. Somewhat plausible. Although this was a good idea, I just feel like it wasn't executed that well. You have an all-star cast. You think, oh man, this should be good. And they could have cast anybody for this movie. They could have just picked up a bunch of people off the street and had them act out the characters, and it just would have come out the same. Then they just try to cram too much stuff into the short amount of time, and it just kind of turned into this long, drawn-out, boring story. I think Kate Winslet's character is the only one that you actually start to care about as you watch it. You want a good resolution, You want to see what happens to her. And what they ended up doing with it is they just let it... Oh, they could have done so much better. Could have done so much better. What they did well with this movie was that they made the unlikable characters very unlikable. Good job, guys. They made the annoying characters very annoying. The soundtrack was really, really good. For about the first 5 minutes, nobody's talking. It's just, scene after scene of people getting sick and dying. And they did a really good job. You would think that a scene with a couple of scientists looking at charts and graphs would be kind of boring, but the way they worked the soundtrack it made it very suspenseful, and you're just sitting there like waiting to see what's gonna happen next. I thought it was funny that Dimitri Martin was a scientist there. I guess it's because he's really good at reading graphs. This movie did kind of make you think in the sense of like how honestly you would react in such a situation. You start to think about whether people would actually really be that awful to each other. You think about whether people would actually, stampede over each other to get vaccines or anything that could help them. You kind of start to think that there's no way that people would be that violent. There's no way that people could get that violent. There's no way that we could be such terrible human beings. But then I think about how many people get trampled at Walmart during Black Friday sales, and then I think, oh my goodness, I guess that's entirely possible. I'll tell you what this movie really made me want to do. This movie made me want to stock up on weapons. I know that sounds kind of awful, but you never know.